we're going through section 2.4 and 2.5 together. We're talking about linear functions and equations of lines. Mostly what we've been doing is going back and forth between the equation of a line and the graph of a line. And so here in example 4, the directions say graph a line that passes through the point at -1, -4, and that has a slope of 5/3. And then find the equation of the line in slope-intercept form and also in standard form. And so let's start with the graph. If we want the line to go through -1, -4, then we can just go ahead and plot that point. There it is. And then if we want a slope of 5/3, 5 is a vertical change and 3 is a horizontal change, right? Go up 5 and then right 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. There might be room to plot one more point here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And so then we can draw a line through those points. Okay, so we've got the graph. That wasn't too bad. And then if we want to find the equation of the line, now let's think about this. We need to get it into slope-intercept form, but we don't know what the y-intercept is exactly. It looks like it's between -2 and -3, but where is it? What do we know about this line? We know the point at -1, -4, and we know the slope. So doesn't that sound like point-slope form? Let's start with point-slope form. And then let's plug in -1 for x sub 1 and -4 for y sub 1. That's our point. And of course 5/3 is going to replace the m. And so then that will get us y minus -4 is equal to 5/3 times x minus -1. And then we can go ahead and simplify this a little bit. Let's see, this is 5/3 times the quantity x plus 1. I'll just show an extra step just to be careful there. And then we can distribute the 5/3 on the right side and get 5/3 x plus 5/3. And then we need to solve for y. If we're going to get it into slope-intercept form, that's what we're trying to get to. Remember, that's y equals mx plus b, so mostly that means just solve for y. So in this last step here, we'll subtract 4 on both sides, and we'll get y is equal to 5/3 x, and then 5/3 minus 4, 5/3 minus 12/3 would be minus 7/3. And there's our answer. Notice that the y-intercept at -7/3, that's -2 1/3, looks just about right on the graph. Looks reasonable on the graph. If you would have gotten an answer of, say, positive 7/3, or then you would know that that was wrong, because positive 7/3 is way up high here, and the line doesn't go through that point. So this is a nice opportunity to check if your answer is reasonable or not, just by looking on the graph to see if it looks like the line really does go through that y-intercept that you found in your equation. Okay, so there's our slope-intercept form, and then we also want standard form. And it looks like I've got that right here. AX plus BY equals C. And so all that means is that we need to get the X term and the Y term together on one side and the constant on the other side. So let's see here. Let's come over here and let's write Y equals 5/3 X minus 7/3. Maybe the easiest way to do this is to subtract 5/3. I tell you what, maybe I won't. You know, if we subtract 5/3 X to the other side, then the coefficient on X is going to be negative. And this says that the coefficient on X has to be positive or 0, right? A is the coefficient on X, it has to be positive. So if I've already got a positive coefficient on X, then maybe I'll just leave this term here. Maybe I could subtract the Y to the other side and get 5/3 X minus Y. And then I could add the constant to both sides to have a positive 7/3 on the other side. And then that's a pretty good move. I could probably switch the two sides. And now we're getting close. We need an X term and then a Y term and then a constant on the other side. That's what we have, an X term and a Y term and a constant on the other side. We've got a positive coefficient on X, so that looks good. Just one more thing, A, B, and C have to be integers. What does that mean? We talked about integers back at the beginning of the course. In this context, it means we need to get rid of the fractions. We need to clear out the fractions. So the last thing we're going to do here is we're just going to multiply by 3 on both sides of the equation. That's the least common denominator. And then that will get us 5x minus 3y is equal to 7. And that is our answer. Okay, so that is example number 4. Example number 5 is very similar, so you might want to pause the video and try to do that one for yourself. I'll try to go a little faster through this next example here in just a moment. Example 5, graph the line through -3, 2. So plot that point with a slope of -3/4. So -3 over 4 means down 3, right 4. Down 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do that a couple more times. And we can draw our line through those points. Hey, that's interesting. I put my ruler up there and it doesn't even go through all 3 points, does it? It comes close to the one in the middle, to that point in the middle, but I think there's a mistake here. So let me just check my counting. I started at -3, 2, and I went down 1, 2, 3, and then right 1, 2, 3, 4. But then the second time, I went down 1, 2, 3, and only went over 1, 2, 3. I need to go over one more. So that looks better. I didn't intend to make that mistake, but I think it's good that I did because it shows you how the extra point, that third point, can help you to check your work, to make sure that your 3 points all lie on one line. Okay, let's draw the line. That looks good. Notice that we can't read the y-intercept right off of the graph, so we're going to have to go through the same process that we did before. To get slope-intercept form, we'll start with point-slope form. We need to memorize these formulas. So one of the best ways to do that is just to keep writing them down every time we use them. So there I've written my formula and I'm ready to plug in y minus y1 is 2 is equal to the slope, negative 3/4 times x minus x1 is negative 3. And so I have y minus 2 equals, can I just go ahead and distribute the negative 3/4 times x? And then that's actually a positive 3 there times negative 3/4. So that's minus 9/4. And then the last step would be to add 2. And I've got negative 3/4 times x. And then that's negative 9/4 plus 8/4 is negative 1/4. And that answer sounds real good because when you look at the graph, negative 1/4 is just, looks like a reasonable answer. It looks like just where that line passes through the y-axis. Okay, so there's the slope-intercept form. Now to put it into standard form, notice this time the coefficient on x is negative, and we need it to be positive. So let's just go ahead and add it over to both sides. So it'll cancel here on the right, and it will add over onto the left, and we'll have positive 3/4 times x plus y is equal to negative 1/4. And then we need to get rid of the fractions. So we're going to multiply everything by 4. And we'll have 3x plus 4y is equal to negative 1. And there's the equation in standard form.